Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am honored and proud to represent the people of Western Pennsylvania, good, hardworking, patriotic people who are pretty frustrated. We are not living in normal times. This should not be a normal run-of-the-mill special order hour. What I will convene today, my colleagues on the Democratic side of the aisle, who you'll hear from, these are people who know how to fight for their people. They know how to win. They're not shy or afraid about a righteous fight. They are members of Congress in this chamber from across the country, across the ideological spectrum, and may not agree on everything. Certainly we don't. But we agree that too many in our party have lost their way, and it's time to wake the heck up. Now, don't misunderstand me. This administration and those helping them are wreaking havoc on so much of our country. We see Social Security under attack. Social Security Administration workers, their ability to deliver the hard-earned benefits that seniors have worked their whole lives for. We see VA employees on the chopping block, fired, contracts scrutinized and then cut. The promise of this country to care for veterans betrayed. We see cancer research, life-saving medicine trials, clinical trials interfered with, threatened, funding on the chopping block. The American people are mad. They should be mad. And look, this administration's approval ratings, they're in free fall. American people are rejecting so much of what we see. But too many on my side of the aisle aren't giving a strong enough alternative, a bold enough alternative. And while the president's numbers may be in free fall, we also see favorability of the Democratic Party at record lows, the lowest CNN has seen since 1992. There has not been a strong enough vision from Democrats on this side of the aisle. We have something to say. Our party needs to change, and economic populism and patriotism should be where we go, standing up for people to revive the American dream. Democrats should be fighting hard against corruption, and the giant corporations who fund so much of that. We should be fighting against anyone else, any force, any company, you name it, that has made life a ripoff for our people. Folks are mad, and they should be. It's justifiable anger. The American dream is gone for too many people. People who work hard, who play by the rules, and yet can't catch a break, who see life as too expensive. People are right. The American people understand that our economy has been rigged against so many. And I say the American dream hasn't slipped away, it has been ripped away. I'm 40 years old. My generation, and those younger than me, the first generation in a long time since the Second World War, who now grows up and don't expect to be better off than their parents. That's what the American dream is all about. It didn't just happen on accident. There are villains here. Corporate power and corruption have been eating away at the American dream. Hedge funds, speculators buying up houses, jacking up the cost of that housing, becoming lousy landlords, pricing people out of what could be a nest egg for their retirement, their home. Monopolies jacking up prices and killing small businesses every chance they can get. Pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs, raising the cost of medicine, killing local pharmacies. The list goes on and on. Now, this president and others on the other side have capitalized on this anger, used it to get power, lift up their efforts now to let robber barons plunder this government, to attack the fundamental bargain with our seniors and veterans and so many others. Democrats need to wake up and stop defending elites and the establishment. They have failed the American people. Across both parties, those who have been in power have failed at the fundamental task of protecting and strengthening the American dream. So today, a group of us are coming forward, coming to the floor, proposing a new way ahead for Democrats, a new way ahead for this country. We need a fighting spirit of economic populism. It is patriotic. We need this patriotism to be at the heart of this fight and our fight against corruption and anyone else who's in the way of our people and who has wrecked the American dream. So what does this mean, this economic populism? In a sentence, it is fighting for a life that people can afford. It's bringing corporate power to heel. It is taking on the corruption that pervades this town, Washington. And the economy and what life costs people should never be an afterthought for anyone who serves in a chamber like this. And it ought to put the people who work their butts off front and center of what our government does and who we think about every day in every action. It is fighting for a life that people can afford, and it is bringing corporate power to heel. Because we know that out-of-control corporate power leads to higher cost. It leads to worse safety. It leads to lower quality, and we see it play out across so much of our economy. It's weakened our defense industrial base, and thus it's weakened our military. It's hurt small businesses across main streets all over our districts. It has crushed workers. It has led to rising costs that we all live with. And we should take on corruption no matter where we see it, no matter the party. The last thing that we need is a bunch of wimps looking for a win-win every time. Not every fight is going to have a win-win. There are villains in this story, in this society of ours, who have made life miserable for so many. You call them robber barons, you call them oligarchs, whatever you want. We got to be willing to take them on. And this embrace of economic populism, it might sound and look different depending on where in the country or who the messenger is. For me, I'm a Navy guy. I served at sea. I served in Iraq. To me, this is a patriotic and righteous fight. And I'm from Western Pennsylvania, the Rust Belt, a place where we saw the rich and powerful plot to strip us for parts. We're the people who made the steel that built America. We've always answered this country's call. Those efforts to strip us, to wreck our way of life, no more. Now, you'll hear from members, again, across the ideological spectrum on the Democratic side today, but we're united in this. The era of a spineless Democratic Party must end. Now is not the time for wimpy concessions and then call it a win-win. Not when the American dream has been killed for so many people in America. And now is not the time to shy from a fight against corruption. Our people see it and they know that our government has allowed the economy to be rigged against people. Those villains, that corruption, they want you to think the problem is some woke college kid or some trans kid who wants their liberty, wants their freedom. That's not why your prescription drugs are expensive. It's not why housing is expensive. It's that corruption and those villains who want you thinking that when they're the ones who've made life terrible for people. We know the real root of the problem is corruption and corporate power run amok. And too many have been pathetic at talking about corruption and showing that they're up for this fight. And some on this side of the aisle have been complicit, helping corporations plunder this country. That should end. And we have to be willing to go to the mat for an economy that works for people who work hard, who play by the rules and want the American dream back. The roots of this party that I'm proud to be a part of go back to the New Deal. It is a working class party at its core. Allowing somebody else to fake economic populism and win power is real and dangerous, and we are living through the cost of it right now. But again, the people you're here from today, they work hard and fight hard for their districts. They get this. They're not faking populism, and they know how to win in places where you got to win.